Hi guys, this is Zach from Watches on You, and today I'm going to be taking a look at a very, very interesting Rolex. This is the Rolex Beta-21. Now, this piece actually is a quartz watch, but it predates the Rolex Oyster Quartz. So the story behind this piece is that after Seiko came out with their revolutionary quartz movement, the Swiss watchmakers basically scrambled to come up with one of their own because they didn't want to be left behind. So what ended up actually happening is around 20 watchmakers came up and made kind of a society of their own, and they united to make one perfect quartz movement that they could use in their watches. Now what ended up coming out of this is the Beta-21 movement. So this movement though is actually different than the Rolex Oyster Quartz uses, as Rolex actually dropped out of this society fairly quickly to try and make their own movement that all themselves. And that's what was used in the Oyster Quartz. So this piece was only made, there were only 2,000 of these pieces, 1,000 in yellow gold and 1,000 in white gold. So it's a very, very rare piece, but now I'm going to go over this watch's case. So the case, as I said, this is obviously the solid yellow gold version, and it's around 38, 39 millimeters. That's what I measured it at. You can't really find measurements of this watch online as it's so rare. So this piece, it's got a very, very interesting case. This is not actually an oyster case. It's really one of the very rare examples of a Rolex that is neither a Cellini or an oyster. And you can actually easily tell that it's not an oyster by looking at the case back, as the case back does not actually unscrew. It pops off. So that's really different than a normal oyster. And also look at the crown. The crown is unmarked. There's no Rolex logo on it. It has really no crown guard. There's a little bit there. So it's a very, very odd case for Rolex. Now it has the traditional fluted bezel of like a president. So again, this watch, it's just kind of an oddball in the Rolex lineup, and it was actually the most expensive Rolex at the time when this came out. Now the bracelet on this piece is very, very interesting. You can see it's kind of a ladder pattern. I really like this bracelet. Looks very, very nice. Solid gold links, feels great in the hand, and then you'll see that on my wrist later when I do a wrist shot. But so now moving on to the dial and more of the movement and other aspects of this piece. So the dial, as you can see, this is the champagne dial, which is very common on Rolex Presidents, but this is actually a little different as it doesn't have the day up at the top. You can see it's got a date at 3 o'clock with a magnifier and traditional gold hands. Now some more interesting things about this watch itself is that this was actually the very first Rolex to feature a synthetic sapphire crystal. It was also the very first Rolex to feature a hacking movement, and it was also the first Rolex to feature a quick-set date. So those are all just very, very interesting features of this piece alone. So now let's move on to the wrist shot. Let me take this glove off here. So putting this watch on the wrist now, this watch it really does have kind of a traditional Rolex dimensions. You don't really feel that much different. It really does feel like almost every other, like a Rolex President, but then you look at it and it obviously, you can tell straight away it's different. You can just look at this bracelet, totally different from any other Rolex, and totally different case. I really like that, because this watch, if you're wearing this in public, people are going to ask about it. It's not going to be kind of a shouty Rolex. I mean, it obviously is shouty, but people are going to more ask about kind of what it is, because it looks so unique compared to every other Rolex. There really is not a single other one that's even close to like it. So it's very, very nice. I really do like this piece, and it fits well on my wrist. I have a 7-inch wrist for reference, so I feel like the proportions on this are great. So overall, this watch was lent to us by JB Hudson Jewelers for the purpose of a review. It is currently not priced here yet. It probably will be shortly. So we'll leave a link in the description to their website, and you can contact them if you're interested in this piece. But thank you for watching this video. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.